everyone, my name is Amanda Waldhart, and you are here with AmandasInspirationStation.com. I have some fabulous candy cane treat holders today. I just love them. Treat holders for candy canes have been around for a very long time, so I have definitely seen many of them, but candy canes are so yummy. Like when I think of Christmas and I think of honestly, two treats that I would love. It's cut out Christmas cookies, you know, like sugar cookies with the frosting and the candy on top, and candy canes. I love them. And then, of course, I want hot chocolate to drink with them. And sometimes I even stick my candy canes in my hot chocolate. So I love candy canes. I'm like, I have to do some candy cane treat holders. So we have 3 of them today, and I'm going to do all 3 of them today. This one here, you can have either 1 candy cane or you can have 2 candy canes in it. Technically, you probably could have 3, but then it would take away from the bow. So I would say no more than 2, but it's just a cute little box that fits to the candy canes and it ties with the ribbon. And the paper that we're using is the, it's the Trimming Town one. Why can I not think of it right now? What, Trimming the Town Designer Series paper. Sorry about that. I'm like, I know this. The heart here, we are using a couple different dies today. So for the first one here, we're going to use this heart from the Be Mine, or Stitched Be Mine. I have it backwards. So it's Stitched Be Mine. And then this little scallop circle here is from the Tasteful Labels dies, and that is this one right here. Okay. And the white circle is actually just from our 1.5 inch circle punch. The stamp set that we're using on all 3 of them is the Itty Bitty Christmas. We are using Have a Sugared Sprinkle Season, and that's on this one. We're using Christmas Cheer, which is, where are you, Christmas Cheer? Right here on this. And then we're using Oh What Yum, which is right here, okay? We're using some rhinestones. We have our regular jewel rhinestones, and then we have our red rhinestones. We're going to use those. We're going to need some dimensionals, some ribbon. The heart punch on this one right here, we are using part of the Heartfelt Dual Punch pack, and we're using the one that does not have the scallop. Again, the circle punch is the 1.5 inch circle punch. And then this like tag that it's hooked to is actually from the Hippo and Friends dies, and I used the large one for the back one, which is the Mossy Meadow. And then for the Designer Series paper, which is the Heartwarming Hugs, I used the second to largest one. So I used those 2 for that. And then I used the 3/8 inch sheer red ribbon. And then for this one right here, we used the trim red ribbon, the Whisper White polka dot tulle. This shape here is actually from the Ornate Frames, and that is from this piece right here. Okay. And then the Designer Series paper is also from the Heartwarming Hugs. So let's get started. We're going to make all 3 of these today. We're going to start with this one. So let's get started with that. You are going to need your Simply Score tool. So we're going to get that out, and you're going to start with a piece of cardstock, which I use the Misty Moonlight. You're going to start with a piece of cardstock that measures 3 by 8 1/4. Okay. And on the long side, going up and down, you are going to want to score this at 1/2. So we're going to go all the way down, and I'm sorry, I do kind of go slow here because if I go fast, I tend to jump the track, and what that means is this little tool moves out of the way and I jump the track, so I don't want to do that. Now, I need it on 1/2 inch on each side, so I'm just going to flip this over, and I'm just going to do 1/2 inch on each side here. All right, there we go. Then with the landscape side going across, we're going to score it at 2. We're going to score it again at 2.5. And then we're going to score it at 4.5. But when we score this at 4.5, we're only going to go up to this score line right here. So see how I just did that? I'm going to stop, but I want to continue to go down, only I'm not going to score it in the center. And I'm going to do it up to this, so that it's 4.5, but it's up to this score line, and 4.5 up to this score line. Okay. I'm going to set that aside. We'll be needing that again, but right now we do not need that. So I am going to take that little notch that we did at the 4.5, and now I'm just going to cut these completely off. We do not need these little pieces here. And let me do that. All right. There we go. And now we're going to cut these score lines as well. And we're actually going to cut little darts in them. Little darts are just so that when we're putting them together, they're easier to fold in. So how you do that is you just cut on the score line and then you just kind of angle in a little bit. You just get those little darts. And that one I didn't do right on the score line, so there we go. Now we are going to use the bone folder. We're also going to have some dimensionals, some tear tape, and a glue dot. So right now I'm going to just fold on these little score lines with my bone folder. And then we're going to do it there, and we're going to do it there. Okay. Now what we're basically going to do is we're going to tuck these little tabs inside here like this, so that it's up like this with this down like this. So we're going to need some glue dots on each side of those little tabs. And then I'm going to put some tear and tape on each one of these so that when I bring it up like this, it's going to lock like this. But before we do that, let's go ahead and put our designer series paper there and in here. So I have 2 pieces of this designer series paper from Trimming the Town. And this one here measures at 1 1/4 by, 1 1/4 by 6. Sorry, I had to think about that for a second. And we're just going to center it like that. And then this piece is 1 1/4 by 1 1/4. And we're just going to bring that on the front here, because we want to put that on before we even put our box together. So we need glue dots on each side of this, and you could use tear tape or whatever adhesive you have. If you're using your multi-adhesive purpose glue, you could do that too. I have this here, so that's how I'm going to do it. So again, I'm going to bring this up, and I'm just going to pinch these little tabs together. So I'm pinching the tabs together. Now I want some tear tape on each side. So we're going to put some tear tape there. Put some tear tape there. And we're going to peel that off. And then we're going to bring this up and fold that. Now I'm going to stick my finger in there and just kind of make sure it's like, press it just a little bit to make sure that it's locked in like that. So there is our box. Okay, super pretty easy. Now we're just going to use, I don't even know what size this is. It's just like a little hole punch. And to be honest, Stampin' Up! No longer carries these, but I know I've seen them all over. I mean, even in a grocery store, I've seen these. Or if you have a one of those crocodile tools. So you could do that too. I'm just going to bring it up to the edge here, to the same. I'm going to bring that edge right to, there is an oval right here, and I'm going to take my edge right there all the way up to my designer series paper. That way I'm doing it.
I didn't get that. Could you try again?
Oh, my watch is talking to me. We don't need you, Siri. All right, so I'm just going to bring that up to the edge like that. Okay, so that way it's even. Now we need our candy canes, which I need to find what I did with my candy canes. Here we go. And I'm going to do 2. I'm going to put them in like that. But before we put them in, we're going to have to do our ribbon, and we still need to stamp our stuff here. So let's go ahead, and I'm going to poke our ribbon through on the back side. I love this denim ribbon. I really do like it. All right. So we're going to do that. And then I'm going to put them in like this. Poke them all the way down. And then we're just going to tie a bow. Make sure you kind of tie it tight so that it's sturdy. And then we're just going to tie a bow here. And then I am not the greatest bow maker. I will tell you that right now. There we go. Now I'm going to angle the edges of my ribbon here like this, just to give it more of a clean, crisper look. So there's that. And then now we have 3 more pieces. And for the sake of the video, I've already die cutted these out. So now we need to stamp Oh What Yum. And we're going to use our Misty Moonlight ink. And I'm going to go over to the closest to the, more towards the right of the circle, because I want to have room for the heart. So we need to put our dimensionals on there. And then I also want to put a dimensional on the back of the heart because I want to pop that up. I'm going to kind of angle that off so it's off to the side a little bit. I want to put one of our jewels on like that. And then I want to pop this up on top of it. So then I'm going to put 2 more dimensionals on the back. And we're going to go ahead and we're just going to set this on the front. We're just giving it a little... Aren't these cute? You could drop this off to, you know, maybe your friend's door with a little, you know, card saying you're thinking of them, or maybe some neighbors. That would be a cute little gift that you could do. You know, if you have young kids and they're still in school and they're not doing their school virtually, what a nice little gift for the kids to give their teachers. All right, so there's the one. So let's set that aside and let's go ahead and we will now work on the second one. And let's work on this one right here. So again, for the sake of the video, I have already cut these 2 pieces out of the Hippo and Friends, and I've already punched this 1.5 inch circle. I do have this real red cardstock because I'm just going to quickly punch a heart out. So then we have that. And we are going to stamp Have a Sugar Sprinkled Season, which I think that saying is so cute. Now this one I'm going to center in the center. I'm going to center it in the center of the circle. And we're going to put our little bling on. Okay, and I'm just going to set that aside. Now, I'm going to adhere our designer series paper on. And then what we're going to do is I am using a 1/2 inch circle punch. Stampin' Up! Used to sell these. They no longer sell this. So I would definitely recommend the 1/2 inch circle because it fits perfectly. I know, sadly, there are other places that have it. If you do not have one, I'm sure you could find it somewhere else. So we're going to put it in the center here, and we're going to push it all the way up until we can't go anymore, till where the punch stops. And we're just going to punch that, and we're going to do the same thing on this other side. All right, now let's go ahead and put our heart, and we're going to use dimensionals for that. This one's a quick and easy one. We're going to kind of angle it because we want to angle that, and then we want to pop that up on there. If you cut out a bunch of these, you could do like a quick assembly line where then you're punching. All right, so now we need a candy cane. Again, with the candy canes, I need another candy cane. So let me grab one. All right, so now I have another candy cane. Apparently I didn't grab enough. All right, so we're just gonna go ahead and stick it at the top through and then back through again. And now we just wanna do some ribbon. So I love, this is honestly, this was my favorite ribbon in the entire August through December mini catalog, is this real red sheer ribbon. I absolutely love it. And I'm gonna tell you, in the new January through June mini, there is sheer ribbon just like this, only in a different color, which I can't wait to tell you. It's gorgeous grape, and I cannot wait for it. It is such a pretty color, and I love this ribbon. All right, so now again, I'm going to trim my edges here just to make it look cleaner. And there you go. That one was pretty easy too. I love it. Fun, fun. All right, so we have those. We have these. All right, so we have one left, you guys. All right, so this is the one that we have left. This is also a fun one because it's like a little box, but then there's a hole at the top and the bottom, and it's just a little bit different. So let's go ahead and get started with that. These little designer series pieces of paper measure at 1 1/4 by 1 1/4, and this is also from the Heartwarming Hugs. Then I used the Just Jade, and the reason why I did Just Jade and Real Red is, well, for one, it's becoming one of my favorite color combos, but two, because with this candy cane, this is what I saw when I saw this. I was like, ooh, Just Jade and Real Red, looks pretty. All right, so I have my piece from the Ornate Garden. I have 2 pieces of the ribbon, the tulle and the trim. And then I have this cardstock here. Now this cardstock here measures at 1 1/2 by 6. And we're going to score it. And actually, you know what? I have to tell you something. I looked at the wrong sheet with this for a second. With the designer series paper here, the designer series paper was not, I said it was, I think I said it was 1 1/4. It is not. It is 1 3/4 by 5 3/4 and 1 3/4 by 1 3/4 here. I will have the measurements up on my blog, the correct measurements. All right, so for this one, it is a 1 1/2 by 6, and we're just gonna score it on the landscape side. We're gonna score it at a half an inch. Then we're gonna score it at 1 inch. Then we're gonna score it at 2 1/2 inches. And then we're gonna score it at 3. And then we're gonna go ahead and score it at 4 1/2. Okay, and that's it. We're done with that. Now, we are going to use our bone folder to fold this, except for this last one. This very last one that we did at the 4 1/2, we're not going to fold that. That's going to be our line. It's like our guideline. So we're going to fold that up. We're going to fold it. And I'll show you what I mean by that. We're just going to varnish that in. So when we flip this over, this is going to be where we're going to put our tear and tape, and we're just going to go all the way up to that score line like that. And that's what creates this little box, this little holder. But before we attach it, we need to put a hole there and a hole at the bottom. So here's the bottom, here's the top. And what we're going to do is, to make sure that it's the same, we're going to use our 1/2 inch circle punch again. And I'm just going to bring it in until I can't bring it in any longer. You want to make sure that you're between the 2 score lines. And we're going to do the same thing with this one. All right. Now we can go ahead and we can put that little tear and tape here. So we're going to put that tear and tape. And before we even put this together up like this, let's go ahead and put our designer series paper on. So we have our 2 pieces right here. And we're going to get out our stamp and seal here. All right. So first we're going to go ahead and we're going to put it between this square up here like that. And then now remember, this is going to come up like this, so we need to put it on this square right here. And now we're going to go ahead and we're going to take this wrapper off. And we're going to fold it up like this and make sure that it's brought up to the score line. And it's even, just like that. Okay. Now we can put our candy cane in just like that. Now, here's the thing with this candy cane. I do not like it when it moves like this. So I want to make sure that it stays like this. This one stays. How I did that is I put a little tear and tape on the back of the candy cane. Just like that. And then I peeled off my little, well, of course I'm going to have issues doing this. Oh, there we go. There we go. Hold on. All right, so now I have it stuck there. So I'm going to stick that back in very carefully. I'm going to place it where I want to place it, just like that. And then I'm going to hold it for a second because I just want to make sure that that tear and tape sticks to the back. Then let's go ahead and do our stamping. So we're going to get out our little guy right there, and we're going to use the Christmas Cheer with the Just Jade ink pad. And we're just going to center that, just like that. We're going to flip it over and we're going to put some dimensionals on the back. But now I want to put the dimensionals in the center. I do not want to put one on each end because it actually hangs off. So I don't want it to be stickier for you to see that. Then we need some a red rhinestone. We're just going to place that right there. And then we just need our ribbon. So we're just going to slide our ribbon underneath there like that. We're going to do them both at the same time when we tie them. So we're going to tie it like this. Just like that. We're going to tie it real tight. And especially you can tie it real tight with the tool. So make sure that's really tight like that. Now the red, I'm just going to kind of trim it a little bit just because I don't want it super duper long. I'm not going to tie the red as a bow. I'm only going to tie the tooling as a bow. Okay. I'm going to angle my ends. And there you go. All right, you guys. We have 3 different ways to make a candy cane treat holder. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you're watching me on my YouTube channel, I would love for you to subscribe to my YouTube channel. If you're watching me on my blog, I would love for you to subscribe to my blog with your email. That is the mailing list, and that's where you get updates, class schedules, different events that I do. And if you're on my YouTube channel, off to the side on the right, you can click on that little orange flower and it'll take you right to my blog. Same with underneath in the description, it does have the link to take you to my blog where all the measurements are on here. Thank you guys so much for taking the time. And if you need any of these products or you would like to place an order, you can go straight to amandasinspirationstation.com. That is also my blog. You can click on shop now. And if you would just like to use that hostess code, that would be wonderful as well. And you guys have a great rest of your day. Thanks. Bye.